The concept of the promise of a bright future speaks to the immense potential and opportunities that lie ahead for a young person standing at the precipice of adulthood. For Lauren Astley, graduating high school symbolized not just an academic achievement, but also the beginning of a journey filled with possibilities. This notion of a bright future is significant because it captures the dreams and aspirations cultivated over years of hard work and dedication. It reflects the societal belief that youth is a time of hope and promise, where one can forge their path and make impactful life choices. In Lauren's case, her bright future was tragically cut short, highlighting the fragility of life and how quickly promising potential can be snuffed out by unforeseen circumstances. This adds a poignant layer to the narrative, as the loss is felt more acutely when considering what could have been. A specific example illustrating this point is the case of other young individuals whose futures were similarly derailed by violence, such as the tragic story of Yeardley, whose life and potential were lost under mysterious circumstances that also occurred shortly after her high school graduation. Another example is the story of Yeardley, a University of Virginia student whose promising future was abruptly ended due to a volatile relationship. Both instances underline the heartbreaking loss of young lives full of potential. Supporters of this idea often stress the importance of recognizing the vulnerabilities in young relationships and the need for awareness and prevention of intimate partner violence. The tragic outcomes in these cases underscore the necessity for education and intervention. Potential challenges or controversies surrounding this concept include differing opinions on the focus of such narratives. Some argue that emphasizing the promise of a victim's future can inadvertently suggest that only certain lives are worth mourning. Others contend that focusing on the potential can overshadow the immediate need for addressing the systemic issues that lead to such tragedies, like inadequate mental health support and societal norms that may perpetuate violence. The promise of a bright future connects deeply with the broader narrative of Lauren's tragic story, influencing the emotional gravity of the crime's aftermath. It underscores the devastating impact of her loss not just on those who knew her, but also on the community's perception of safety and the potential that was lost. This aspect of the narrative serves to remind us of the profound consequences of violence and obsession, urging society to find pathways to prevent such futures from being prematurely ended. The heading "A Bright Future Cut Short," Lauren Astley had just graduated high school when she was found murdered after breaking up with her boyfriend, introduces a tragic story that highlights the devastating consequences of obsession and violence stemming from a seemingly innocent relationship. This case is a poignant reminder of how young love, often perceived as pure and innocent, can sometimes spiral into darkness when mixed with unhealthy emotions and behaviors such as possessiveness and aggression. The significance of this story lies in its ability to shed light on the critical issues of teen dating violence and the warning signs that often go unnoticed until it's too late. One real-world example illustrating this point is the highly publicized case of Yeardley, a University of Virginia student who was murdered by her ex-boyfriend, George Hughley. Much like Lauren Astley's situation, Yeardley's death highlighted the dark undercurrents that can surface in relationships, showcasing how unaddressed emotional disturbances can lead to tragedy. Another example is the case of Kristen Lauren, who was murdered by a man she casually encountered. Her tragic death serves as a reminder of the random, yet sometimes preventable nature of violence, fueled by underlying aggressive tendencies. Supporters of increased awareness and education on teen dating violence argue that understanding the signs of obsessive and controlling behavior can prevent such tragedies. They advocate for educational programs that teach young people about healthy relationship dynamics, encouraging open dialogues about emotions and stress management. However, challenges exist, such as the tendency to romanticize intense emotions in media, which can blur perceptions of what constitutes a healthy relationship. Additionally, there is often a cultural reluctance to discuss violence in romantic contexts, especially among teenagers. This narrative of Lauren Astley's murder not only highlights the dire consequences of unchecked emotions, but also connects to broader societal issues such as mental health awareness, the need for emotional education in schools, and the importance of community vigilance. It underscores the influence of relationship dynamics on personal safety and mental well-being, urging society to delve deeper into preventive measures rather than reactive solutions. As we explore this story, we are reminded of the intricate connections between love, mental health, and safety, emphasizing the urgent need for proactive education and intervention strategies. Through this lens, Lauren's story becomes a catalyst for crucial conversations around teen relationships and the prevention of future tragedies. The concept of the blossoming of young love refers to the initial stages of a romantic relationship typically characterized by intense emotions, excitement, and hope for the future. During this period, individuals often experience heightened feelings of attachment and affection, which can be both exhilarating and overwhelming. In the context of the tragic story of Lauren Astley, understanding the dynamics of young love is crucial, as it sets the stage for the emotional turmoil and eventual violent outcome that ensued. The significance of this point lies in its ability to highlight the intensity and vulnerability often inherent in young romantic relationships. These early stages are marked by idealism and may lack the maturity needed to navigate complex emotions. In Lauren's case, what initially seemed like a flourishing high school romance gradually spiraled into a dangerous obsession. This transition underscores how the intense emotions associated with young love can sometimes cloud judgment and lead to destructive behavior. Real-world examples abound that illustrate the passion and complexities of young love. For instance, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet serves as a timeless portrayal of young lovers whose intense feelings and impulsive actions lead to tragic consequences. In more contemporary terms, the case of Amy Fisher and Joey Buttafuoco in the early 1990s involved a teenage girl's obsession leading to a criminal act, further illustrating how young love can take a dark turn if not grounded in reality. Supporters of the idea that young love is pivotal in shaping future relationships often argue that these experiences are essential learning opportunities. They help individuals understand their emotional capacities and interpersonal dynamics, influencing how they navigate future relationships. However, it's important to acknowledge the challenges associated with young love, including emotional volatility and lack of experience in managing complex relationships. Critics might point out that the idealization of such relationships can lead to unrealistic expectations and unhealthy attachment styles. In Lauren Astley's story, the blossoming of young love is intricately connected to the broader narrative of her tragic death. The intense emotions between Lauren and her boyfriend, and the inability to cope with their breakup, were key factors that ultimately led to a catastrophic outcome. By examining this point, we gain insights into the deeper emotional currents that shaped their relationship and contributed to the devastating events that unfolded. Understanding these dynamics helps shed light on the thin line between love and obsession, and how quickly the former can devolve into the latter when unchecked. The tragic story of Lauren Astley serves as a poignant reminder of how a promising future can be abruptly derailed by violence and obsession. At the heart of this narrative is the chilling concept of young love turning dangerous, highlighting how intense emotions and unaddressed psychological issues can culminate in tragedy. Lauren, a recent high school graduate with her whole life ahead of her, found her dreams shattered by the very person she once trusted and cared for, her ex-boyfriend. The significance of this point lies in its reflection on the darker side of adolescent relationships, where unchecked emotions and lack of maturity can sometimes lead to dire consequences. This story is not just about one tragic event, but serves as a broader cautionary tale about the potential dangers of obsessive relationships among young individuals. It underscores the importance of recognizing warning signs of unhealthy relationships and the necessity of intervention. To illustrate, consider the case of Yeardley Love, a University of Virginia student whose life was similarly cut short due to domestic violence by an ex-boyfriend. Such cases highlight the need for awareness and education about the signs of relational abuse and the importance of addressing these issues early. Moreover, an example from fictional media is the film A Star is Born, which depicts a similar trajectory where love becomes intertwined with control and destruction, albeit under different circumstances. Both examples emphasize the universality of this narrative, cutting across different contexts and times. Opinions from advocacy groups stress that education about healthy relationship dynamics should be integrated into school curricula. They argue that the conversation must start early to equip young people with the tools to navigate complex emotions and interactions. However, challenges arise in balancing the portrayal of teenage love as both beautiful and potentially hazardous. Critics might argue that emphasizing the negative aspects could lead to unwarranted fear or paranoia, detracting from the positive experiences of young love. Ultimately, this point connects to broader societal issues such as mental health, the role of education, and the justice system's handling of domestic violence cases. By exploring what happened that night, we delve deeper into these interconnected themes, emphasizing the need for systemic changes to prevent future tragedies. This narrative not only seeks justice for Lauren, but also aims to ensure safer futures for other young individuals.